Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Judd Kuhn Chevrolet, and I'm checking out a 2019 Chevrolet Blazer in the Premier trim level. This Blazer is sitting on 265/45 Continental tires wrapped around 21-inch pearl nickel aluminum wheels. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors, very thick, ventilated thick rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Graphite Metallic. And the sun is behind a bunch of clouds right now, so hopefully you'll be able to make out the color. And the camera kind of struggles with low light and these dark colors, so hopefully you get an idea. Maybe it'll come out soon, the sun. Okay, so looking at the front here, one thing that some people may get confused, these are not the headlights. These are your daytime running lights. Your headlights are actually down here inside of a black bezel and a projector tube powered by HIDs for your low and your high beams, so they refocus for different purposes. And your turn signals are powered by standard bulbs right down here. So you have this really neat chrome piece. Has a lot of curvature to it and gives it a lot of reflection. So it extends here underneath the daytime running light, across the center bar, and across to the other side. Now in the Premier, it has this gloss black grille with these chrome, little strips of chrome there in the center portion, looking pretty sharp. It also has like a 360 type camera system, which I'll show you when we get inside. There's one of the cameras, there's one in the front, back, and the side mirrors also. It's like a little GoPro type, and it stitches the image together. This is where the intake, for the engine intake, the airflow, and I'll show you that when we pop the hood, intake there goes into the engine. This portion is for cooling, and it has the active grille shutters back here. Looking at the profile, you can see the glass is pretty much solidified. Now, if the front window was tinted, this comes from the factory tinted, but if the front glass was tinted, it would solidify all the glass here and give it a sleek look. Even the pillars are blacked out as well. You also have a little extension right here blending in free-floating roof design, or something like that is what people call it. I just think it's a good way of kind of, you know, connecting the front glass to the back. Now the handles, they're body colored, but they do have some outline of chrome, and then you have a little strip of chrome here at the very bottom. Now there's a couple things I want to show you close up. First of all, these wheels are they're just stunning. That's the first thing I noticed. Very impressive size, but also the sheen and this overall look of them looks fantastic. And the rotors I mentioned before are very thick. So all four wheels, they have these very thick ventilated rotors. Usually don't see the big thick rotors like that unless it's a big heavy duty truck or something. Under here is the little camera. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a camera on each side for the camera system. Then you can see the Blazer is in chrome, and the handles have that chrome outline, including the button, but they do maintain the color there in the center portion. I think that looks really nice. It also has this little splash guard, kind of subtle, and it looks like it's strategically placed right in here. So that way, as the rain or whatever slings up, it kind of stops most of it there from at least getting on the paint portion anyway. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system designed to where you just keep it in your pocket. Now it's very high quality feeling. It's kind of concave right in there, so your finger is able to kind of like land right in the right spot. Here for the buttons, it has a really good surface feel to it as well, and the use of chrome looks pretty good. And it's a good weight. It's not very heavy. It's kind of a medium weight, I guess you could say, for a key. It also has a physical key there that you can use if you need it. So it has lock and unblock buttons, remote start, the ability to open up the power liftgate, and a panic button. So let's go ahead and push that and see what the horn sounds like. Okay, so it just kind of gives it a chirp sound. So let's actually push the horn here. Okay, so that sounds, get a little bit of an idea of what it sounds like anyway. As long as you have the key with you, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, as long as it's within a close proximity of any of these 4 doors. So all this features can be used on any, the front or the rear doors. So you can walk up, and right now it's locked. To lock or unlock it, you simply just push this button. So right now it's locked, we push it to unlock it. Now we have access, push it again to relock it. Now the physical key location, I'm assuming, I haven't tried this, but it's behind this cover. So either it's behind this portion, little portion, or this whole cover, I'm not sure, but that's usually where they put the physical key location. And it's usually on the driver's side only. And you'll notice that the doors go all the way to the bottom. There's no portion that is exposed when the door is shut at the bottom. And the reason for this, you can see it actually has a double seal there. The reason for this is it keeps road debris and dirt from getting in the doorway in that threshold area while you're driving. So when you get in and out of the vehicle, your clothes don't, possibly get dirty when you're going in and out. Looking at the inside of the passenger side door, mostly black. It does have some gloss black there, and the handle and this portion over here has some metallic color. It's like an aluminum, almost like a chrome, but not quite as shiny. Now the soft touch surfaces are around your arm. So here and here are your soft touch surfaces, extends out to your handle, but the rest of the door, including down here and up here, are hard touch surfaces. Now check out this little, shelf right here, so you can put some stuff in there, and then it has a bottle holder at the bottom. Here on the passenger side is a leather trimmed, heated and ventilated power seat. And the seat adjustments, you can tilt the back, but you can also go forward and back here, but also you can go up and down. Typically passenger seats, you don't have that functionality. It's just basically forward and back and tilt. But this one has a little bit more. And check out the seats, really nice looking piping here, the French stitching here, and little suede strip there on the front. Then you can see a little micro perforations for your heated and ventilation to work better, especially the ventilation. There's little colors in the piping as well, and there's another suede strip. Check out the legroom. Pretty much wide open. Let's go ahead and push this seat all the way back. You can see a little storage pocket there on the side of the console. And man, does this seat go all the way back. So you can put an NBA player here. And check it out. A little bit of tapering right in here, but generally just wide open space. Glove compartment. So you can see there's no handle here. To open it up, there's a button way over here next to the radio. You push that and it drops down for you. And it's really good size, really wide open, smooth plastic on the inside. So the dashboard, you can see it has that little piping here with the colors. Soft touch surface here, here, and hard touch up in here. Massive sunroof. I'll show you that a little bit later on. So getting in the vehicle, one thing I noticed is that the door swings out quite wide, and there's a lot of open space here. Now I have the seat all the way back, okay? So it's all the way down now. Okay, so it's all the way back, all the way down, so we get the maximum amount of room. So I'm 6 feet tall, so getting in the vehicle is straightforward. I mean, the height of the seat is pretty much perfect. I don't have to really climb in or drop down. So I'm in, and there's just a tremendous amount of legroom here. So kind of feel like a toddler right now with all the seat all the way back. This armrest is really comfortable. This pocket has a little rubberized portion. Armrest is nice. I can see the seat's just too far back for me. Really, it needs to be pulled forward. So right there is where the feel of the floor makes sense. The handle makes sense now. It starts to fit me appropriately. And there we go. And having the seat all the way down seems to be fine. Now my knee room. Now there's lots of space here for my knee. Way over there. But over here has a soft touch surface. So if I bump my knee on that, it's not a big deal. I like that big pocket there as well. And I can open up the glove compartment. And I just move my legs out of the way, I guess, to access that. Okay, so let's go ahead and move the seat all the way back again, because we're going to check out the back seat with the seat all the way back. And that's probably a rare situation unless you're carrying somebody super duper tall. But the back door, soft touch, same deal, but the hard touch up here is hard touch up here, soft, little pocket, and bottle holder at the bottom. The seats are really nice back here. They look great. They have the car seat, the latch system for car seats. Okay, so let's get in. Fairly easy. The door swings out quite wide. The headroom's adequate. So the seat's all the way back. And even so, my feet fit underneath the bottom. And I'm able to sit here. And my knees touch when I put them straight out. Kind of just barely touch there. I do have a pocket here and here. You notice it kind of dishes in to give you a little bit extra space. But yeah, even with the seat all the way back, I like the way these adjust. You just push that button. But yeah, this is fine. I mean, I can get comfortable back here even with this front seat all the way back. So if we had Shaquille O'Neal here in the front seat, I could still sit back here. It's pretty neat. Okay, so there's a power outlet like you'd find in your house. 3-prong, and then you have a USB-C and USB ports, charge ports, and a storage pocket down here at the bottom. Flat floor, so the center passenger won't have to deal with a big hump in the middle. You have armrest, cup holders, and let's go ahead and sit in the center position. Okay, so now, since the seat's pushing me forward a little bit, so now I'm kind of pressed up against the seat that's all the way back. This one's more of a normal position, so I'm better on that. And my feet pretty much have enough room here. So yeah, this is all good here for the center passenger. And typically, you know, for long trips, you probably wouldn't have somebody my size in the center, but you could, I guess. Okay, so going over here, you do have, with the seat in a more normal position, this is plenty of room, and this is quite comfortable. The seats are really nice in this vehicle. And I forgot to mention, these are heated seats, so it's a one-stage on or off heated seat back here for the rear passengers. Nice big sunroof. This allows, you know, so if you're claustrophobic, that might help a little bit. And even with the headroom, I got a hat on and all this stuff, and even there I have about an inch or so above my head when I'm like completely vertical. So it's not a big deal. Now there's some lights, little handles here, little hanger. Same thing on this side. All right, getting out. All right, so you can see with me sitting in the chair, I kind of like fall out. Now you notice with this slanted portion right here, that's going to be a little bit of a, you know, just got to be aware of it when you're getting in and out. Unlike the front, which is more straight, this has got a curved portion here. That's probably a safety design to give you a little bit more side impact protection, I'm assuming. But anyways, that's there. So getting out, you just got to make sure you don't hit that, and it's not a big deal. So looking at the back of the vehicle, you can see it has these roof rails that are in a chrome, and then the shark fin antenna is body colored. Pretty good size one as well. Third brake light powered by LEDs right in here. It's above the glass, and then of course you have the rear wiper. The tail lights appear to be a combination of LED and standard bulbs. So your turn signal would be here in the back, standard as well as the front. So back here, you have some cameras. So right in here, there's 2 cameras. So you have a backup camera, and then you have a camera for your rear view mirror. So I noticed that the backup camera is slightly offset, which is not a big deal in this case, because you want this to be in the very center for your rear view mirror. So I let them slide on that particular situation. I wish it was kind of in line so they can both be center, but whatever. That's the way they designed it, and it's not too bad. It's not that offset. You have parking sensors across the back, 2 chrome exhaust tips with actually exhaust exiting out of the exhaust tips, which is a surprise. I have to clarify that nowadays. Okay, so lifting up the power lift gate, there's a little button under here. Just push that and it'll go up for you. Okay, so if you have all the seats occupied with passengers, you still have a tremendous amount of passenger space back here. It even has a sliding divider in which you can lock it in place anywhere on this rail and, you know, help with your cargo. So you can put stuff on the other side of it, press this up against it and lock it down and keep your cargo, you know, pressed up against the seats. That's one idea, or just divide it up however you want. You can also take that out in case you need some open space, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So you have a storage pocket here on the right side. You have a 12-volt power supply over here as well, a little hanger, like a bag hanger, a light on both sides here and here. So at nighttime, you're going to have better visibility, especially with all this black carpeting, so there's less shadows. So if you only have one light, then you put one object here and it casts a shadow across the rest of the place. You have some tie downs here, and of course you can, you know, tie things to that divider there as well. Little fuse boxes behind this cover, a little storage pocket here. This lifts up and has a little hanger with a string on it, so we can hang that right up here. Now we can access the spare tire, which is a full diameter spare tire, and tools, and more storage space. So you can utilize that space, you know, keep things out of sight or whatever. So that's nice. And I like the way this holds it up for you, because if you have to hold this up or take this out of the way and find a spot for it while you're trying to change a tire, that's just one more aggravation that you have to deal with. Okay, so folding the seats down. One thing that's really cool is that you can fold down these headrests like so. So that way if you add to your visibility. So if we do that number, we can have the headrests up when we fold them down, or we can have them folded like so. And how we do it, we can either do it with a lever on the side of the seat, or we can pull this lever here. So if we're back here and we need to add to the cargo space, it's very simple to just go ahead and do it from here. So we don't have to go over there to the side of the vehicle. We can just do it from right here. And let's say we have a box that won't fit, we pull the seats down, go ahead and push it in. So you can fold down one or the other to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, or you can fold them both down. You can take this divider out and have a really wide open space. So I put my wallet on the ground, and you're probably wondering why. The reason why is because there's a little light that shines under here and illuminates on the ground with a Chevrolet bow tie there, and you can see it's actually shining on my wallet. The parking lot kind of obscures it, so you can see it a little bit, but just want to show you where it is. And the purpose of that is so that way it shows you where to put your foot to do the hands-free lifting of the power lift gate. To lower the power lift gate, we just push this button and it goes right on down. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it is capless, so you don't have to worry about a cap or anything like that. The blind spot detection indicators are here on the side mirrors. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it up. I have the key in my pocket. It can be in a bag, it could be in a cup holder. As long as it's inside the vehicle, we can go ahead and start it up. Put our foot on the brake and push this button. You notice the high position it has. Let's go ahead and push that button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice the floor mat snaps in place in two places, keeping it straight for you. There's your accelerator and brake pedal that have like this thick rubber padding on it. Nice big footrest, has a good vertical amount of space there. It's not quite as wide, but it's really tall. So let's go and take a look underneath the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the left of center right in here. Just reach in, move it to the right, and lift up. So you can see it's right here. So reach in, wherever you want to do it to release the hood. And it has hood shocks, so keeps the hood up for you. So what I was talking about with the airflow, coming in right here, it comes out here and then in here, okay? And there's a seal that seals around. You'll see this on the underside of the hood all around to keep the airflow coming the way the vehicle designers wanted it to. So that's the deal with that. Okay, so you have some insulation as well there on the underside of the hood and a strip of a seal across the back. That's partially for airflow, but also most likely for engine noise and stuff like that. Now the strut towers are here, and right here's the top of the strut, and that's braced in to the unibody structure of the vehicle. And you notice there's the firewall's pretty good ways back, and there's a lot of room here. So it's good for, you can look at it and also work on it or whatever, easier. And so it's an insulated firewall. There is some heat shielding under there as well. So this one has the V6. It's a 3.6 liter V6 paired to a 9-speed Chevrolet's in-house 9-speed transmission. There's your battery that's easy to get to. And I'll put a link in the description that has a tremendous amount of information regarding all the specs of this vehicle, the dimensions, everything. So if you're into all the crunchy numbers, you can check that link out and you can get everything there. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So your power windows are here. So the rear, a one touch down and one touch up. Actually, you got to hold them to go up. So one touch down, and you see they go all the way down, and then you hold it to go up. The front is, the driver's side is automatic up and down. So we can push it one time, it goes down. Pull it up one time, it goes up. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with this little pad. You have your presets for your power seat. You even have exit mode there. And then this is for your power liftgate. You can adjust the height. So you can either turn it off, 3/4 height or max height. So this is depending on if you have a low ceiling in your garage. Power seat here for the driver. Now the driver's seat usually one-ups the passenger, so you can go forward and back, you can go up and down, you can tilt the back, you can also have power lumbar adjustment. Two-way, so it just goes in and out. Here to the left of the steering column, you have some buttons. This is electronic parking brake, which will cinch down the rear wheels. Dimmer switch for your interior gauges, and there's your headlight switch. So it has automatic. You turn it to the left to turn on or off your daytime running lights. You have automatic, parking, and then headlights. And then you have your tilt and telescoping steering column. It's actually powered, so it has this little button right here to power it. Look how well the touchscreen here and the gauges handle the sun being shined directly on them. Some vehicles have this very significant glare, but this one seems to do really well. Maybe it's the position of the sun or maybe the time of day, I don't know, but it looks really nice. So sitting in the vehicle, checking it out, sitting in the driver's seat, and very comfortable seats. I have too much room, actually. It's a little bit too much, having the seat all the way back. Being 6 feet tall, it's just too much. I have to stretch my legs out. I have to reach out for the steering wheel. So this would be the maximum amount of room here. Just a tremendous amount. Really surprised. I mean, a lot of vehicles nowadays, they try to squeeze in more room in the back, and all they do is just skimp on the front, it seems like. But this one has room in the back and the front. It's just a very roomy vehicle. So it has a leather wrap steering wheel that's heated, has a little button right here. You can see a little on-off button for the heated steering wheel. And see the color matching stitching there, metallic accents, really high quality feeling steering wheel. It's soft touch, but not super soft, and it has a good thickness for my hands anyway. On the left side of the steering wheel is your cruise control. So you can turn it on, cancel, resume by going up, and set by going down, that kind of thing. Change through your speeds. It also has adaptive cruise control radar system, and you set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you by pushing this button. So when you push it, it shows up on the screen, and you can see a far, medium, or near gap adjustment, basically. On the right side, you have your voice recognition and your phone control, so you can answer and hang up here. These buttons correspond with the screen between the gauges. We'll show you that in just a minute. It also has a volume on the back of the steering wheel. So we have auto volume adjustment on the back here, if you can see that, the up and down. And on the other side, you can change through your favorites or your presets for your radio on the left side here on the back. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side, turn signals here, and you also have automatic high beams, in which you can turn that feature on or off here as well. So looking at the gauges, you have your RPMs there on the left side. That's a physical gauge there. And on the right side, right here, is your physical gauges, engine coolant temperature and fuel gauge. It even has a little arrow pointing to which side the fuel door is on. But this portion here and this whole portion here is a big screen, so you can customize the screen. Right now it's showing a dial speedometer ring on the outside and a digital speedometer, the oil temperature, and on this side is your voltage. It also has your digital compass, what gear you're in, how many miles the vehicle has, and whether the cruise control is on. But we can use, remember these buttons here, we can use these buttons left, right, and then we have a scroll wheel up and down. Okay, so first of all, we're going to scroll down. So you can see that digital speedometer is just there as part of a digital, as a menu system. So we have all these different options, including, tire pressure and all that stuff here. And you can only keep on scrolling, it goes back to your digital speedometer. If we go to the right, or actually left, you can see that this part is part of a menu system in itself. So you have info, audio, navigation. So let's see what the navigation looks like. So that right now it's showing a digital compass, and if we had a route, then it would, as you're driving, it will give you some turn-by-turn directions here as well. So we don't have anything set up for that right now. Phone, this will basically just show your, once it's connected, so like say your caller ID, that kind of thing. And then your radio, you can have that information here, what your radio is doing, and then the information here. And of course at the very bottom we have the settings that we can go in and change, like say if we wanted to change the units, we can also have a, so right now it's this, there's different themes. So let's go ahead and select that. Let's go to touring. Let's see what that looks like. Cool, so it has a completely different look. We can look through the same information, it just looks different. It does away with that big dial ring, and now it just has the digital speedometer there and the basically just information bigger here in the center portion. Scrolling to the right, we also have other options here that we can choose to have displayed. So just in case we want to turn those features on or off in a particular in that particular menu, we could do that. So of course, I think my default screen would probably be that one with the digital speedometer in the middle. Something like that, but of course you have that other option as well. Okay, so let's look at the touchscreen here in the center stack. So it has this home button. When I push it, you can see it gives us two options here. One is a split between your navigation and what your radio is doing. The other one is basically apps like you'd find like on a cell phone or whatever. It kind of looks like that to me. So let's look at the audio. So you can see it says AM, FM, satellite radio. Different options here. You have Bluetooth as well as your audio sources here. You can adjust the sound. Then you have your presets there at the top or your favorites. Your phone, once you pair your phone, you'll have access to your recent calls, your phone books and all that stuff. You can make and receive phone calls with the Bluetooth system. Navigation, let's look at the map. Now the resolution, you can pinch zoom and all that stuff. The resolution is fantastic, both with the screen and also the camera system, which I'll show you in just a minute. So you can turn this vehicle into a Wi-Fi hotspot. Add different users. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto also have a lot of features, which you just have to plug in your phone to the system of the vehicle, and it'll go ahead and pop up either one depending on if you have an Apple or Android system. The navigation is in addition to all that, so you do have navigation systems in those particular apps as well. You have lots of settings here, and then you can go into apps here and get more apps, and you can kind of customize them. Waiting for it to load up. Apparently it takes a minute. See, it has its own cellular connection, so I don't have a cell phone in the vehicle right now, so it's able to do updates. It's able to do a lot of things using the OnStar system and just the system itself using the 4G system. So that's going to take a while. Probably has to update everything since it's a new vehicle. Let's get out of that. So there's the OnStar services, camera, and the climate. Let's go ahead and look at the climate. Now it has some buttons down here for your climate. We'll get to that in a minute. But you do have a lot of functionality here on the screen, where you want the air to blow, the temperature, the fan speed. It's a dual zone. You can sync both of those if you like. And then the camera system. This is really nice. Okay, so when you put it in reverse, you're going to be able to, this will pop up automatically, but we can go ahead and look around the vehicle without putting it in reverse. So this is a front view here. So this is in front of the vehicle, and you can see it looks like a top-down view here. So as I open up this door, it goes black on that side because the camera is underneath the side mirror. Okay, so that's your front view. As I turn the steering wheel, it gives me a guidelines there. So it gives me an estimated trajectory of the vehicle going forward. Now, we got, you can see these indicators here, a more linear look. We can push that one and get a really super wide look. We can push that one and get a top-down view of the front. We got a kind of a weird three-quarter view. I'm not sure. I guess if we're going in a parking space, that might help. And then this is really nice. This shows you the front, both front wheels on both sides at the same time. That's really cool. So as we're getting close to a curb, we can really watch our wheel as we're turning it and make sure we don't hit the curb or whatever. We really get precise movements in parking spaces or whatever with this. I like this a lot. You can turn your guidelines on or off there. Okay, so when we put it in reverse, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so when we put it in reverse, now we have the backup camera. So now we're looking behind the vehicle. It does have the adaptive guidelines if we have them turned on. Okay, we have a wide view, more straight view. We have this view. So we can keep an eye on the front as we're backing up so we don't swing into something. Have all these different view options here. So you can see, you push it again and you got several different angles. There's the back, there's the front. Okay, so now we have the 360 view with the front view, but we can change that to the rear view or whatever. But anyways, just to give you an idea, there's so many different ways you can look around this vehicle. It's a lot more than I've seen in any other vehicle as far as the options here. So each one of these has different, you know, abilities and different views and everything. So it's amazing, the camera system. And also, I don't know if you can tell the clarity here is fantastic. So hopefully this camera will be able to pick up. I'm gonna get up really close to the screen so you can see the resolution, the clarity, the colors, everything about it. I mean, it's really, really impressive. Okay, so to the left of the screen, you have the four-way flashers. We already saw this button to open up the glove compartment. This is for your traction control. You can turn it off. Default will be on. You have a physical volume knob. There's your home button, and then you can change through the tracks or whatever you happen to be listening to. And then there's a back. For certain screens, you can go back out of, like a back button on your computer. You know, that's basically the idea there. Okay, so we saw the climate control buttons on the screen. You also have them down here. So we have ventilated and heated seat controls here. So it's like a 3-stage ventilation and then a 3-stage heat seats, and that's for the driver and passenger. Temperatures are here, so you can see the temperatures here. To adjust them, check it out. It's around the dial of this ring around the vents. It's a big dial. Isn't that cool? And the vents are pretty neat. You can kind of articulate them. You can close them off by turning it like so. Really neat looking. Where you want the air to blow, you can turn the whole system off. You can sync the driver and passenger because it's a dual zone, and recirculate the air and all that stuff. Your fan speed and your front and rear defrosters are here as well. And it has little indicator lights for your fan speed. Right down here is a USB and USB-C inputs or charge ports. You also have a wireless charger right here, so you can put your cell phone there and it'll charge it automatically just by laying it there. Now you can lay it there and charge it, and then you can run the wire up here for your Android Auto and or Apple CarPlay capabilities. And this is like a rubberized surface, and it has like this little indentation so your phone doesn't really slide around. And if you don't have a phone to put in here, if you don't want to utilize this charger, it's no big deal. You can use this to put junk in here. It's not a big deal as long as the junk is out of the way when you want to charge the phone. Here's some cup holders with space between the cups. Okay, so the shifter is here. And we saw what happens when we put it in reverse. Actually, two things happen. One, the backup cameras, the camera system activates, but also the parking sensors also activate. So as I get close to something, or if think there's something back there, it's going to actually give me a tactile response in the seat and let me know, like, hey, there's something back there, you might want to look. And the seat will actually vibrate, so it's pretty neat. Neutral, drive, and then it has a low range in case you need some engine braking. Pretty straightforward there, but nice looking shifter. Okay, so this is different terrains. That's normal, and then you have a snow, and then you have a sport mode. And parking sensors, you can turn those off if you want to. This button is for your lane keep assist, so it'll keep an eye on the lines in the road and actually turn the steering wheel and keep you centered in your lane when you have that activated. Little storage space there. And this armrest has a suede center portion. It's like a property line. It's wide enough to share with your passenger, but it keeps them, it's like, hey, here's the property line, you keep your arm over there. So it kind of serves as that, I guess. And it's soft to the touch, kind of rubbery soft, not super cushy soft. Then this lifts up. Has a little clip on the underside, which is nice. And this is, it kind of looks like a graphite or composite type material here on this black. USB, so it has an SD card input here, most likely for your navigation system, and then USB-C and USB charge ports and a 12 volts power supply. And place for wires to go in and out of the compartment here and here. Okay, so this is pretty cool. The rearview mirror has two different options. So you can have basically a mirror just like you would normally have. Then you pull this lever and it turns into the camera. So you remember there was two cameras back there. One is for the backup camera. This one, the other one that's in the very center is for the rear view mirror. So you notice my car is directly behind the vehicle, so you can see it there. So now, one thing about a rear view mirror is you can see now I'm turning it. I'm trying to adjust it, but it's a camera, so that works fine with an actual mirror, right? But they solved that problem because there's some buttons here. So we push this button here, and it gives us a brightness control, zoom, so we can zoom in and out, and then we can tilt it. See, we can tilt it up and down and get it in the position that we want. And then we go back to the brightness. So that way, it doesn't matter if we have a bunch of cargo in the back or we have a bunch of people with huge hairdos or whatever in the way, or the seats or whatever's in the way, or blind spots or whatever, we can actually see behind us with the camera system directly behind the vehicle. This is a really good feature, and I like the way you can always quickly, easily go back to your normal mirror view that you're accustomed to. You know, if this is just not working for you in that particular moment, it only takes a second to put it back to a regular mirror. So I really like that feature. It's really neat. Okay, so up here, so you have some tap lights, home link garage door opener controls, and you also have a huge sunroof. This is for the shade adjustment, to open and close the shade. This is for actually to move the sunroof. We'll get to that in a minute. Put your shades in here, and it has like a felt lining, not super soft, and it is really big too. Visors have a cloth exterior. Looks like LED lights and mirrors, like nice vanity mirrors there. Has a little clip on that side, and they extend out. Okay, so looking at the massive panoramic sunroof. So you can see it goes all the way back. This is a fixed panel back here. This is this is the one that moves. So let's go ahead and tilt it up. I went too far. So we can tilt it. Press the button again. It'll go ahead and open it. Press it again. It goes even more. So there you go. That's maximum opening. It also has a shade, power shade. We can go ahead and close that. And the shade blocks 100% of the light. Now I like that. So on a really bright day or whatever, you just don't want all that sun coming in, you can close it up and it blocks 100% of the light. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. So you can see it has those pillars back there that are quite wide, but it does have a little glass there, little glass window helping out with that. But of course all vehicles have some sort of blind spot or limitation in visibility, so you just have to get used to it. But this is not so bad. I mean, this is not bad at all. Just looking over my shoulder and everything, it looks better than my vehicle, that's for dang sure. Of course, you have all the parking sensors, all the camera systems, rear view mirror camera, and all that stuff to help out as well. So anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to Judd Kuhn Chevrolet here in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.